Hello everybody, this is your old friend RJ City, and today I will be unboxing Star Trek The Next Generation trading card. I was a fan at one point because I also had the action figures as a child. This is all coming back to me now. And then I would think it was cool, you know? It looked cool. But then the episodes, we saw fucking intellectual. It was like watching an episode of Frasier. It's ridiculous. Come on, do something. Let's go through these and I'll show you why. This is the Federation Miranda Class. This is a spaceship. Look at that thing. This useful vessel has been in service within the Federation for many years. As I kick the desk. Proving its superior design. While not capable of carrying the larger crews of the Constitution class vessels, vessels of its time, the Miranda Class vessel was still a viable alternative for scientific exploratory missions. Striking in their design, yes, isn't that gorgeous? Wouldn't you like to get your hands on one of these? Miranda Class vessels consist of a primary hull, similar in design to that of the Constitution and Constellation class vessels, mounted atop two warp nacelles with the bulk of a secondary hull. What the fuck are we talking about here? This reduced mass makes Miranda Class vessels more apt scouting and research ships than many of their larger contemporaries. I remember when they just used to shoot something? Remember the original Star Trek? They just shoot it. Exploratory. This is ridiculous. Oh, great. Another ship. What is this one? The Romulan Warbird, believed to be slightly slower, but probably more powerful than the Galaxy class. The Romulan Warbird represents a great potential threat to Federation security, exemplifying the ultimate in Romulan technology to date with the ability to cloak itself. The Warbird is the most formidable starship Romulan fleet. Warbird is used for all types of missions, including scientific exploration, reconnaissance. It's a word that I don't think I've ever really said before. And battle. Well, there's that. Oh, look, behind the scenes. Filming and post-production. And this is... Look at that, Fen. They go like this, and then they go action. It's called a slate. It tells you what scene, where we are, and they look at it when they're editing to find out. That's fascinating. And then we got this demure picture of Worf on the back. That's some exciting shit. After principal photography has completed the soundstage, it's usually about 7 shooting days per episode. The episode moves into what is called post-production. It is in post-production that the episode will get edited, a musical score, visual effects, and any looping, vocal track overdubbing required. The post-production process usually takes about 6 weeks to complete, and such incredible things are done that is prompted to saying around the sets, don't worry, they'll fix it in post. A little behind the scenes, the magic of television for you. Oh, look at this. This is exciting. Seal of the United Federation of Planets. Imagine, I have enough problems getting together with my neighbors getting on the same page. So this is like a condo board, but of planets. Great seal. I'm not going to read this. We got the gist. Now somebody. Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Beverly Crusher. And you thought, you should crush people with their hands. Like, nope, just a doctor. Her duties are the physical well-being of the ship's crew. Her traits are devoted and maternal. Her hobbies are amateur theater and dancing. Don't dare pay her a penny for her theatrical work. She does it only for the fun. Well, that's nice. She has a good time doctoring people on the ship. Ooh, here's another one. Sergei and Helena Roserosenko. Don't really recall them, but nevertheless... the ship was so big it could be, anybody. So again, Helena of Earth descent took on the daunting task of raising a Klingon foster child, Worf. Oh, these are Worf's adopted parents. After Worf was found as a survivor of a massacre, there's all words I don't want to say. The Kitoma massacre, the Rosenkos decided to raise a child with their own son on the farming colony of Galt. Get some nice milk and gout. 2 boys entered the Starfleet Academy together, but the Roserenko's human son quickly returned to the farmer's life. Sergei was chief petty officer. He only cared about very trivial things. Aboard a starship, but never attained the rank of an officer. The Roserosenkos, I'm pronouncing their name different every time, agreed to care for and raise Worf's own son, Alexander, until this provided to be too onerous a task, and they were forced to return him to Worf on the USS Enterprise in the episode called Here, Take Your Weird Kid. Ah, who could forget the old Starfleet emblem? Many a person has been proud to wear it on their chest. In keeping with Starfleet's tradition of honor, peace, and integrity, the symbol is seen on the duty uniforms of all its personnel. Starfleet logos actually evolved from the command insignia of the original USS Enterprise, which was eventually adopted as a symbol for the entire fleet. Starfleet Command is the branch of the United Federation of Planets which deals directly with the management, maintenance, and commissioning of the various starships and scientific vessels which comprise the Starfleet. You know, it was almost always bad with Star Trek video games, because they would just be like these decision-making, so basically a text-based, where should I walk? Transporter systems theory and operation. Well, this, good. Now we're going to get an an explanation for the beaming. See? They even put a diagram. Now I'm excited. 4 major stages: target and scan coordinate lock, programming of destination coordinates, range and relative motion scanning, confirmation of suitable environmental conditions, and diagnostic procedures. Step 2, energize and dematerialize. Molecular imaging scanners derive a real-time quantum resolution pattern image, while energizing and phase transition coils convert the subject into a deboned matter stream. That's what they used to call me in high school. Pattern buffer Doppler compensation. The matter stream is held in a pattern buffer, compensating for Doppler shift. Sometimes Doppler just gets in the way. Matter stream transmissions. Point of departure from ship through one of 17 emitter pad arrays to the transport destination. So it turns you into dust, and then it puts you back together again. That's what I gathered. Here's the real one. The Constellation class vessels built primarily for exploration purposes. Most conspicuous about the design of this craft is the 4 warp nacelles located behind the saucer section. Under the command of Jean-Luc Picard was one such vessel. While a useful vessel in its time, there are few Constellation-class vessels still on assigned duty. Interesting to note. And look at this card. It's a ship card, but it's all shiny. Isn't that something? Looks like an old prehistoric fish. Look at that. That's just beautiful. The crescent-shaped Ferengi Marauder is the most common vessel of the Ferengi fleet. This highly advanced starship is a amalgam of the many different technologies in which the Ferengi have bartered for in their many dealings with other cultures. Although detailed files remain classified, encounters have shown that the Ferengi Marauder is generally comparable in mass and defensive capacity to the Federation's Ambassador-class vehicles. As the Ferengi are traders by nature, it is not known how much of this technology was actually researched and developed by the Ferengi, those pesky, mysterious Ferengi. These are brothers who have a used car dealership. Here's a little trivia about the Klingons. There they are hanging out at one of their Klingon bachelor pads. What are the major classes of Klingon starships? Bird of Prey, Katinga, and Vorcha. Question number 2. Are Klingon vessels capable of cloaking? This I know the answer to because I read it on a previous card. B. Yes. They acquired cloaking technology through a previous alliance with the Romulan Star Empire. It was a barter system. Give us some cloaking. We'll give you the foreheads. Which crew member of the USS Enterprise became the first human to ever arbitrate the Klingon Rite Ascension? Jean-Luc Picard. No shit. How many Klingons are currently serving duty aboard the USS Enterprise? There's Worf. Yeah, he was the outlier there. Worf. What is the name of the Klingon home world? Kronos. You thought it would just be called Kling or something. Lieutenant Tasha Yar. Zero recollection of this person. Nevertheless, fun haircut. Lieutenant Tasha Yar was the first security officer on board the USS Enterprise, recruited by Captain Jean-Luc Picard after he saw her negotiate a Corellian minefield to rescue some wounded colonists. Tasha grew up on Turkana 4, A failed colony where she avoided rape gangs and drug addiction until the age of 15, where she escaped to join the Federation. I love how this is just like a mean streets planet. It's like a bay, don't go there. On the planet Varga 2, so many planets, Tasha was killed without provocation as a demonstration of a malevolent creature's power. However, in a freak incident involving an alternative timeline, Tasha went back in time to help the crew of the Enterprise, where she was captured by the Romulans and gave birth to her half-Romulan daughter, Sela. So is she alive or dead? Not sure. Here's the doctor in action in the sickbay. You don't want to go there. It's like a pediatric waiting room. It'd just be like thick with people's germs. Medical department responsible for the health and well-being of the entire crew, as well as being called upon to aid or research. There's more information on these cards than there was on the fucking Desert Storm trading cards. Key element of the sickbay is the BioBed sensor and support unit. Incorporates an array of sensors tied directly to a remote medical instrument. Sickbays include intensive care wards, laboratories, surgical suites, physical therapy procedures, nurseries, and even no gravity therapy ward if you want to put your neck into like traction. Counselor Deanna Troy. I remember her. I had a crush on her. I thought she was fun. Everyone had good hair on the show. Duties, psychological well-being of the crew. Oh yeah, she was the therapist. She's like the Dr. Katz. Traits, intelligent, extroverted. Hobbies, linguistics, three-dimensional chess, psychologist, and chocolate. Food can just be a hobby. Does she make it? Is she a chocolatier? Missed that episode. I remember this guy too. Prosthetics and the crew. A little behind the scenes here on how they slap a bunch of rubber to people's faces. The vast majority of aliens seen are actually actors wearing prosthetic devices of some type. Interesting factoid. Whether an episode calls for Klingons, Romulans, Vulcans, or some of each, they must all be created here on Earth. The standard process consists of sculpting the alien out of clay on a mannequin head to achieve the desired look. The next step involves making a casting of the actor who will be wearing the prosthetic and then resculpting the clay pieces to fit the casting of the actor. Next, a mold is taken off of the clay pieces. New pieces are cast in silicone rubber. These pieces are applied to the actor with adhesive, blended with makeup to achieve the desired effect. Okay. Ooh, tractor beams. Isn't that fun? When the USS is called upon to manage objects in space with manipulators, tractor beam of the ship may be used to tow other vehicles. This is a tow truck. Next, Dunde Nadi Hideo. Are we speaking? What? Fascinating. We're speaking, and there's the whole crew. There's the family photo. There's LeVar there, and the guy from, and this is all in another language. I don't know why, but here we are. This is the battle bridge. More ship shit. I think we got it. This is they always did have nice screens, and on the back it tells you everything. If you really wanted to learn about Star Trek, these are good. Operations management, OPS, the continually updated list of all current major shipboard activities. Information is used to evaluate the current state of the ship's activities, so priority decisions can be made. For example, if a science department is using a sensor array and an alert situation arises, the OPS will have to divert the science scan from the main sensor array to another available system. This would tell you everything that's going on, but if they shot it, like if you see a shot of it, and they want to show you, oh, something bad is happening, they'll just put like red, it would just be like giant alert. They knew you didn't know what any of this shit meant. They would just be like, bad. It was just red, bad. And lastly, shuttlecraft classification. This was like the minivan of this spaceship. And oh yes, look, the classifications on the back. Maybe there's like a sedan. There's a shuttle pod. There's a shuttle pod 15A. There's a Type 16. There's a Type 6, Type 7, and Type 9A. Which one is this? 17. Let's read about 17. There is no 17? What is the fucking point of... Well, look, if you really wanted to know about Star Trek, these cards tell you almost everything you want to know. Lack of LeVar Burton, lack of Whoopi Goldberg, lack of Patrick Stewart, Nevertheless, look, I got a fun slate behind the scenes. Isn't that a crazy thing to think? That on Star Trek, they use that same things they use on other TV shows? It is fascinating.